the grip that these things had on my life, the food and the sodas or juices or whatever I was drinking, teas and just everything. And God wanted to show me that grip, because I started to realize real quick how when I wasn't having it, I thought about it all day. And, what God was doing in that time was preparing me for a lifestyle of fasting, I guess. He wanted to. And the thing is, I didn't keep to that forever. I kept to it for a few weeks, and then the Holy Spirit said to me it was okay to start, going back to things again, because I think I grew to understand them, and everything. I was able to, from that point on, moderate what I was doing and eating and drinking. And after that, a lot of things changed. My discipline grew not just in food and drink, but I started having the mindset that I could get more things done around the house or put in more energy at work, and started to see that connection there between the controlling the body and getting control of the rest of your life, your mind and your soul, and during this time, it was months, even before and after this. Once in a while, I would hear in my spirit just one word. It was run. And when I tell the story, I always feel stupid because it seems like a simple command, like run, But
did you know it meant physically?
No, that was the thing. For the longest time, I was trying to decipher it through this new Christian vocabulary, and I was talking to God. Oh, what, God? Do you want me to run from sin? What do you want me? Like, I was so confused over the simplest thing, and oh man. So it wasn't even until after I started running that I went back to piece that and was like, oh, duh. So, as I started to get better with the food, I realized I wanted to start training and exercising, and pretty much the limit of that was going on walks. I couldn't handle anything more at the time. I would go on walks, and we moved back here, and I started walking around Skyview, and eventually I started pushing myself to trying to run, which for the first, I don't even know, a couple of months, I could only run about 15 seconds at a time, and then I would have to walk and catch my breath. But I just continued to push at it, and trusting God that this was, that He was going to stand on His word and restore me. And with more control over the food and just simple getting around and moving, I just started to shed weight, and yeah, it was so good. Now, I'm trying to think of where I want to go from here, because in all that, I had this sense of connection with God, that I was serving Him and walking out the Word He'd given me. But along that way, I lost that path, and health became my new God. It quickly shifted. I started, once I got down to a certain weight, and I started doing, more advanced training methods. All of a sudden, I would look in the mirror and see a muscle and be, oh, we can, health became number one, and vanity kind of took over. And that was far from fulfilling. And that caused a new series of problems, because I had basically just shifted, what's the word, addictions, I guess, from the drinking and stuff over to working out. And yeah, I could talk about that for a long time, but the biggest problems that became with that was it became unhealthy. It became the opposite of what God wanted it to be, because I started training too hard. It got to the point where I could not be satisfied unless I had had 3 workouts in a day. I would do a run, I would do strength training, and then I would do just like an all over body circuit, and I would, if I missed one, I would despise myself. And food became, I went from pretty balanced and eating all the right things I needed to, that I had learned to eat. I'd worked on my diet for a long time, and at this point, the trying to fulfill the vanity of my body became, I started to hate myself again in a different way this time, that I wasn't living up to the expectations I had set for myself to be, I don't know, whatever my vision of health was. And then what started happening is I would basically try to starve myself, and then of course that inevitably, because I wasn't eating the right things, I would start to binge after that, and it just became this cycle, like look in the mirror, hate yourself, starve for too long, get cranky, lots of arguments and stuff, and fighting with people, and just hating life, and then binge eat to feel better, just like the old days. But my new problem now was that I had already gone so much of the way towards that body I wanted,